for supporting our church restoration project. Our sanctuary will celebrate its 200th birthday next year, and we truly appreciate the effort of our congregation for contributing to this fundraising effort. You can find more details about our renovation plans in your program in our brochure, plus information on the other speakers and musicians who will perform here in our beautiful sanctuary in the upcoming months. It is my honor and privilege to introduce Joelle Innocenti and her woodwind quartet. Something important was missing. Tonight she wants to share with you what she learned about how to discover your true values in life, letting go of the
Does this look familiar? You've driving down the highway, these beautiful billboards, sandy beaches, people tanned and toned, and two perfect little children. They obviously have loads of time and money to take these kind of fancy vacations. They had it all: money, time, perfect children, perfect jobs, perfect lives. What I wanted. Shouldn't I? Well, parents, kids, work stress, and I forgot to go to BJ's. But that's not what I wanted. I want the vacation. And I want to look. But they're all lies. These are lies designed to create a big bunch of unfulfilled desire for things that we can't have, that we can't afford, that make us feel ugly, inadequate, insecure, useless, unless we spend a fortune to try to get them, or sell our souls to try to obtain the illusion, which we never will. Set your mind on things above, not on earthly things. In case you don't know, I am an expert. I'm an expert at being human, making mistakes, being flawed, sinning like crazy, capital S. And I'm here to give testimony and to tell you a little bit about the dangers of overcoming the illusion of the billboard lie. When we constantly strive for the unattainable, there's no hope for satisfaction. Chasing these lies does nothing but cause chaos in our lives and in our loved ones' lives. We make the wrong decisions with our time, our attention, our decisions, our priorities. Of course, God wants us to be happy, but what does He want of us? What is our divine and universal calling? We all have one, and it's different for everyone, of course. And He never promised us the billboard life, because it doesn't exist. The Bible teaches us that we each have special gifts given to us by God. He wants and expects us to use them for the good of others. If he puts it on your heart, it's what you were made to do. Delight yourself in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart. You might fight it, but the emptiness inside you that no vacation or big house can fill might make you stop long enough if you listen to hear and answer and acknowledge the call. So I'll ask you, think about what fills your heart with love. Think about what fills your heart with love. How do we hear him? How do we hear our universal calling? Well, it's really, really quite simple. In quiet, in prayer, in contemplation, in meditation. And I said simple, not easy. The problem with this crazy, noisy world is there's so much commotion that takes our attention away from what we should be focusing on. The complete lack of quiet in our lives. We don't stop to listen. Sometimes it takes a pain to bring us to our knees, to make us stop long enough to hear that calling. An accident, a job loss, an illness, a divorce, a death. For me, I had to lose everything. With nothing more to lose, in my quiet loneliness, I finally felt him. I felt his touch. I felt his guidance towards things that would fill my heart more than any fake, fancy Billboard vacation. So, the good news is, I did reunite with my husband. Nothing short of a miracle. I can't explain it to this day, but one day I was walking by the water along the seawall in New Haven. The water was so sparkly and clear and crystal, and I felt the most indescribable sense of calm and peace come over me. And I just knew I was going to go home. Within a month, my lease was up. We got remarried by a justice of the peace. And I felt the universe smiling. I felt that it was God's will that we be together. Now, it wasn't easy. There was a lot to fix and repair, but it was right and it was just, and he was smiling. The dark depression I had was gone. No more medication, no more therapy, no more sunny days laughing at me because I couldn't enjoy them. Number 2 was my grandson. So, when my grandson was little, I used to give him baths and wrap him in warm towels that had been warmed by the dryer. And we'd have a few moments. He'd sit on my lap, and we'd have our little chats. And one day he said to me, "Jojo, why didn't you ever have your own kids?" And I said, "I don't know, Johnny, but maybe it's because God knew I needed to take care of you." And he liked that answer, and he snuggled into my lap again. And then he goes, very seriously, "Yeah, if you had other kids, you'd probably spend more money on them than me." It's my heart. There was another special night when I was putting him to bed. He was maybe 5, and we were saying our prayers together, and something happened that I'll never be able to fully describe. But as I lay there with him, I felt something fill me. I felt the most intense wave of passion, of love, of warmth. It filled my every fiber. And I thought it was my love for Johnny. But it was not earthly love. It made me breathless. I can't explain it, and I can't describe it, but I realized it was God's love for me, and it happened so fast. And I've been waiting for it to happen again, and I guess it's not my time, but I felt this love And I knew it was him, and I knew he was happy that I had come home to him, to my family, to a righteous way of living. It was all good. So I went and I prayed to him the whole way. God, please help me. Be in my words, be in my heart, be in my touch. Help me do your work. And it's hard work. The earthly me would rather sleep in. The earthly me would rather go shopping, go to lunch, go to a movie, do my laundry. But I felt called. I felt like I didn't have a choice. Of course, we all have choices. But I had to answer, and so I did. With all my lame excuses, too busy, too tired. But God gave me this gift to do with humble humility, caring, patience, kindness. That's my gift that he gave me. And everyone is given a gift. Everyone's given a gift to lift others up, make people laugh, and bring people together. Those are the gifts that we're given. And it's up to everyone to figure out your gifts for the betterment of others. I leave there feeling so blessed and so humbled and so thankful to be of service to the universe, to do God's work. And my emptiness is being filled with something so much greater than a fancy vacation. And we know that for those who love God, all things work together for good, for those who are called according to his purpose. I'm not going to lie. Over the years, this kind of commotion would come into my life, and I'd be tired and cranky, and thoughts of, where's my Billboard life, would creep in. But the day that I watched my little guy walk out my house for his first day of 6th grade, he was nervous and excited. My heart was just full of love and pride. And my little guy was becoming a preteen, and the universe put me in his life to help him get there, and it was all okay. He just turned 15, and I still spend every dime I have on him. Evil is everywhere. Evil is strong. And it wants you to chase the Billboard life because the more you chase, the more you can't have it. And the more unhappy you will be. And the more willing you'll be to do things that are the wrong choices, the wrong decisions, eroding the fabric of your life. The world, or the devil, whatever you prefer, had its claws in me for many years. I was lost for decades in sin, self-loathing, disappointment, depression. I never believed I could be happy without the Billboard life. But love and faith and God is so much stronger. But you have to fight to hear it in this noisy world. You have to fight to hear it. Man says, do what you must to make yourself happy. God says, do what you must to make God happy. And in the process, you will find a greater joy than ever before. In Ecclesiastes chapter 2, there's a Bible verse about happiness. And it's very clear. If God is not in it, you're wasting your time. No matter how much material wealth you accumulate, it'll never be enough, and it'll never make you happy. True satisfaction comes not from fancy vacations, fancy cars, fancy dinners, big houses, but from knowing and recognizing the gifts that you've been given and using them for your divine purpose. Thank you for letting me talk to you.
were brought up with religion, and then you got back to that. How long was that gap?
It was a good 35 years. 35, I would say 35 plus years.
And what led you back?
I was brought to my knees in pain and sadness and emptiness. And I was finally in quiet, and things came to me in the quiet and the peace. Anybody else?
How has the music entered into all of this? What did that do for you?
So yes, I'm a musician. You heard us earlier. Music was a relief for me. It was an escape for me. So it was probably one of the only positive things that I kept up with during my entire journey. So I would say if you have children or grandchildren that are struggling, keep them involved in music or the arts, because it can help take some of the attention away from the pains. Yes?
When you were younger, did you really appreciate religion?
I did not at all, and that's why I fell away. And even though when I was young, I went to church with my family, there was so much fighting and tension that I couldn't even think about what church or God really meant, because my reality was just constant chaos. So when I went off to college and was a young adult, I had nothing to take with me really. So I floundered for many years without any guidance. And it was truly a miracle. It was a miracle that I came back to the church and came back to my faith. But I did sink pretty far down, and sometimes that's kind of my message. Sometimes that happens. You hit rock bottom, and then you come back because you realize what's important. Thank you.
Maybe your bio is hiding in here, but you started telling the story about growing up in Greater Boston,
Yes.
and in a wink you were walking the seawall in New Haven.
Oh, right. I grew up in Boston, but I came to Connecticut to go to college.
Where is your home now?
In North Haven. I stayed. I never went back. Anyone else?
How did you figure out that your calling was to help other people in that atmosphere that you chose, the hospice atmosphere? Like you said, you wanted to maybe go back to school to be a nurse, but I know you volunteer at hospice, but how did you figure out that was your calling?
That's a little bit unexplainable. I mean, and this is more for the younger people in the room, I always wanted to do something social. I wanted to be a teacher or a nurse or a social worker or something. And I didn't follow that dream when I was younger. And I think that's one of the things that kept me so unhappy for so long, because I wasn't following my calling way back then. And so I think if you listen and you can feel if you listen to what's inside you, God will speak to you. And so how did I know hospice? I can't tell you. It just was there. And I was open to it. I thought, really? I knew one person that died in hospice, and I knew nothing else about it. But there was this calling. I was drawn, and it's just my calling and my gift. And I just listened. I guess that's my point, is just listen. Do what makes your heart feel love. I think that was one of my questions. What makes your heart feel love? Yes?
When you look back over your years where you were struggling, can you think of any time where, somebody could have, said something, done something to set you right, or do you think that it was just entirely, you had to get that,
Ooh,
you had to get there, and you had to get there, arrive there internally?
that's a good question, because I don't think I would have listened to anybody. So I guess I had to go on my own journey. And I think that's probably true for a lot of young people, unfortunately. So I don't know. I wouldn't have listened. Thank you so much. I think our hostess will invite us into the back, and we can chat some more if you like.
These are for you. Thank you for sharing your story with us tonight.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.